This is Dabu7. I want to talk a little bit about these executive orders that were just signed by Trump, explain what they're saying, what they're about, and also talk about the first executive order that he put into motion. I did a separate video on that, but at the time, they did not have any information posted on whitehouse.gov. Today, they finally put that first executive order in the log, and we have a chance to look at and read through exactly what they're saying, what this is going to affect, and exactly what they're doing. But first, the three that he signed today are dealing with three different things here, or a few different things. But the first is going toward the promise that he was making for shrinking the federal government. And what he did is he put this executive order in motion to implement a federal employee hiring freeze. So, across the board, the federal government, when it comes to jobs and hiring, they're freezing it. Okay? Now, the second one is to formally withdraw the U.S. from the TPP, or Trans-Pacific Partnership. And the third is to reinstate a GOP-backed policy regarding foreign aid and abortion funding. He also went on to note that this action to shrink the federal government would not apply to the U.S. military. So, those three put into motion today, and as I look over at whitehouse.gov under executive orders, the only thing I see thus far is the information here in regards to the first executive order. Hopefully, they will have this information out today for these other executive orders so we can read through them and see exactly what they're targeting. But the trade deal through the TPP dealt with 11 Pacific Rim countries. And he's looking to do away with that, where he can strike up deals per country and do what he does. And as you can see, he replaced the drapes with gold ones there in the White House. Now, talking a little bit about this first executive order and everything with Obamacare, it is an executive order minimizing the economic burden of the Obamacare Act, pretty much, and repealing it. And what they say here is this. I'm going to read a little bit from it. It says, Section 1, it is the policy of my administration to seek the prompt repeal of Obamacare, as amended by the Act. And in the meantime, pending such repeal, it is imperative for the executive branch to ensure that the law is being efficiently implemented, to take all actions consistent with law to minimize the unwarranted economic and regulatory burdens of the Act, and to prepare to afford the states more flexibility and control so they can create a more free and open and effective health market. And then it goes on to Section 2. It says to maximize the extent permitted by law, the Secretary of Health and Human Services and the heads of all other executive departments and agencies with authorities and responsibilities under the Act shall exercise all authority and discretion available to them to waive, defer, grant any kind of exemption or delay the implementation of any provision or requirement of that act. And that would impose a full stop on all of this. And it would also stop a fiscal burden on any state or any cost, any fee, any tax, any penalty, or regulatory burden on individuals, families, healthcare providers, health insurers, patients, recipients of healthcare services, purchasers of health insurance, or makers of medical devices or products or medications. And that is through the first two sections of that executive order. As I said before, I'll leave a link for all this, multiple links in the description box below so you guys can read on further. I will also update with more information if they post any of these 3 executive orders he signed today over on whitehouse.gov. Make sure you're following me on Twitter at Dabu7. Put a lot of updates out over there. If I don't have a chance to put out a video or something like that, that's the best place to find updates and key information and breaking news. So that's a look at some of these executive orders put into place. Like I said, I'll leave links below for multiple stories. And until next time, it's been Dabu7. Peace.